Okay. Alex C, back pocket. Okay.
Hey, boys. All right. Use your voice all day. Use your voice, okay? Swannaroos on three. 1, 2, 3. Swannaroos. Go, boys. 1, 2, 3, 3.
Song in that order was fantastic.
Olathe, Kansas, a thin slice of heaven in suburban Kansas City, plays host to the 2025 USAFL Central Regional Championships presented by Tasmanian. This is the sixth and final game that we're bringing you here today, and it will determine who will win the Division I championship as the North Texas Devils take on the Chicago Swans. Good day, everyone. I'm Brian Barish. Great to have you along for our final game of the day in Division I. The North Texas Devils come into this final game looking in very, very good position. As we take a look at the CyberSource IQ standings, it's the North Texas Devils at 2-0, having defeated the other two teams in this division, the Minnesota Freeze and the St. Louis Blues, by a combined 88-29 score. The Minnesota Freeze are on the other field taking on the St. Louis Blues. They have a 1-1 record, and they are slightly north of 100% at 73-59. The Chicago Swans, having won their first game over St. Louis 34-17, were blitzed by Minnesota 69-10, and then the Blues are at 0-2. Chicago can still very much throw a monkey wrench into the North Texas Devils' hunt for a first championship. They would have to win by a substantial margin. In fact, they would probably have to win by somewhere in the neighborhood of 52 points in order for them to at least finish above the Devils. That will also be contingent on what happens with Minnesota on the other field. The Devils were founded in 2020. They are based in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and they have done a fantastic job of growing their club over the last few seasons. They have steadily improved at the national level, and they are here to hopefully, in their eyes, walk away with their first trophy in team history. The Devils, who are the same color as the colors as the Tasmanian Devils in Australia. They're wearing the green with the gold and the red. And the red and the white, the bloods of the Chicago Swans. And the final 20 minutes of this tournament is about to get underway. Umpire Steve Arnett just doing a last-minute check. He blows the whistle, and we are set to go here in Kansas. Play on, says the umpire. Devils will get first possession. Sending this one down, dropped and marked. Gonna get picked that one up. Going back with a handball, stays with it. Over into the pocket. And good job of dancing around. Right-footed kick is on the way. It's marked in front. And they'll have a chance to open the scoring. Goes around the corner. Kick is on the way. It's coming back. It's there. And the Devils draw first blood in the first minute. North Texas 1 straight 6. Chicago no score. Fantastic, fantastic start by the boys in green. And it's 6-0 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. So Will Lyon with the goal for the North Texas Devils, and we're underway once again. Here come the Swannies. Through the middle of the ground, cutting is Jenny Crossley. Or check that was Jed Martin, the 88. Handballs it around. Handballs, long handball back, and here they come. Just gets through. Ball gets knocked down, going to get picked up by Mason. And here is Nathan Hatton, who's not playing with a hat on. And now the back comes Lemon. Off the top, getting a hand to it was Paul Iokim, one of two former LA Dragons on this team. Sent down, gonna get picked up, long handball back. Devils look in control. Sobel works it around. Now goes up the far side, and it is Mark. Nice jumping mark taken by Hatton. Plays this one. Gonna get picked up, sending this one in towards the sticks. It's another one. Bang, bang, go the Devils. Watch AFL scoreboard after 3 minutes. North Texas 2 straight 12. Chicago no score. All the Devils have to do is win this final game, and they will be home. I think, as we said, they can afford to lose by a certain amount. Of course, it all depends on what Minnesota does across the way. If Minnesota hammers St. Louis, then it would force the Devils to win this game outright. Ball heading back into the middle of the ground. And the weather has really changed the entire day. It started out when we got here, was in the mid-70s, and right now we're at about the high, which is 86, and the feels like temperature is about the same. The wind has hovered around 10 miles an hour, and the gusting numbers that are at 15. The humidity has been I think the key story here. The humidity has dropped. It's in the 60s now. It was expected to be higher, but really hasn't affected things too much. Up on the far side they go. Mark taken over the back by Clifton. Wait. Now look for a lead. Send this one down the line. The mark taken. Handballs it around. There's a long kick. It is off the hands. Long handball around now. Gonna get picked up. And it's a free kick given the other way. Here is the Swans. Ball goes to ground. Staying with it. Gonna get picked up. Handballs it around. They work it around the chain. Swans with good possession here. Has a bounce. Got the handball off, looking for C. Stewart. Gets it away. That was Martin. C. Stewart. One-on-one contest. Big tackle put in there by Zorni. And the umpire said there was no prior opportunity, so it'll be a ball up. Charlton White, who has been a monster, has kicked 5 goals this afternoon for the Swans. Good job of getting away of Callum McKern. The Devils have had a fantastic season so far. They had a 3-point victory that they got in the last minute against the Revolution reserve side, as Danilo sends this one back in. And the mark is taken defensively by Chris Willis. Willis comes out to the near side and finds Sobel. Sobel goes in short. Good mark taken over the top by Sean Dixon. Over the top now. Going after it and going to pick that one up with a long handball back. Sending this one out into the wing now, and a good sliding attempt. Just got it away, though. Over into the pocket now. That was O'Shaughnessy who had it. And that one is cleaned out, and there's Iokum, who's all by his lonesome. Iokum, a long-time veteran, as we said, former Dragon. Mark is taken. Justin Kenna, who's on this team, played for them as well. Saw Shrinan Yamanchili a little bit earlier. He's down in North Texas as well. Another member of the LA Dragons, also played for the DC Eagles as well. This is Zorni. Sends this one in, and it's marked just in the 50-meter arc. Gonna play on quickly. Gets it away. They work it around. That last handball, but it's gonna sit up, almost sat up for Lyon, who kicked the first goal. Turns around, goes around the corner. Is he gonna get it? No, but it's a mark in front. And he could just turn around and have a kick right here, but instead he will go through the paces. Will Stephen Bass. And Bass has been around a long time, began with the other Dallas club, the Dingoes. 2 steps, bang. 3 straight for the North Texas Devils. After 8 minutes, they're 3 straight 18. Watch AFL scoreboard, Chicago no score. And this one is turning into a bit of a rout. Still plenty of time. The Swans have looked pretty good in the games that we've seen them, and so far in this game they are doing their best, but it's been very difficult against this North Texas team, which is weaving the ball well on defense and then playing, really getting loose on the offensive side. Back in the middle, back again, as McKern was in there against Willis. And the ball is cryogenically frozen in there like Walt Disney's head. We'll have a ball up. Umpire Ross McLaren backs everybody up. Again, McKern wins the hit out. Looking for Martin. Picked up by North Texas. That was Logan Walker with the football. Goes over his head now. One-on-one contest. Walker, a little bit of friendly fire as he collides with David Orr. Out to the far side. Stays, sets up. Big tackle from behind. And a push in the back is called. Soap, free kick. And it will go to Dex Moon. That's a good name. And will Dex Moon rise to the occasion is the question. And it's gone out, stays in play now. Up on the far side, sending this one in. And the ball has gone out of bounds on the full. And you could hear, in fact, you could probably hear Shrinan Yamanchili yelling encouragement towards his side. We said North Texas, big win over Minnesota to start the day. And they defeated St. Louis, and here they are again. If they win, they will wrap up the championship outright. And if Chicago can come from behind, we'll have at least a 2, perhaps a 3-way tie. But North Texas is won by a lot. They have a pretty good percentage as Charlton White got it around, now banged out. And it is knocked down in front. Handballs it around. Sending this one inside the 50-meter arc. It is marked. And going to play on quickly is Stephen Bass. Bass sends it in off the fingertips. Goes in front and running on. And oh, just getting knocked down. But he got his foot to the ball no matter what. That was David Orr. And North Texas has kicked 4 in a row. After 11 minutes, it's 4 straight 24 to Chicago no score. And that's on the Watch AFL scoreboard. And they are just preceding the ball forward. And we saw Minnesota earlier today set a new record with 9 straight kicks to start a game. That was the most. It took them a little more than a half to do it. All high in the air. There we go again. Gonna get picked up. 1-2, except Martin was cut off at the pass there. Handballs it up over the top. Sending this one up on the way. It is knocked down, goes out behind. Kept in play, though, by the Devils out to the far side. Has it, cuts through. He looks like Jean-Claude Keely for Jimmy Dean Sausages, and it's marked through. Taken by Nathan Hatton. Hatton lost the pill, though. Big crunching tackle. Big hit in there, and it will be a clean. It'll be holding the ball is the call. Sending this one down in the middle of the ground. Clean bowls the defender in Yeaton. Or Yaton, if you prefer. Gets away. Martin. 1-2 with Charlton White. Sending this one in. Marked. Out to the near side. It'll bounce. It'll skip. It'll hop. It'll jump. And going on the run. This is Sobel. Goes around. Long handball with Hatton. Sending it down. Almost intercepted. Again, Charlton White is in there. Along the ground. Going to get picked up. Sending it back now. It'll hop. It'll skip. And stays in play. This is Caution has the football. The Perthite out to the near side. She was, as the ball goes out of bounds, just barely. Could have been out on the full, but thankfully for James Keogh, it found the field of play first. I was mentioning Jess Caution. She was trying to get her friends back in Perth, where it currently is 3:45 in the morning on Sunday morning back in Western Australia. She's one of 2 women out there for the Swans. Rose Lemon is the other one. Rose has been playing at the other end of the ground. We talk about women's football. There's a women's division at the Western Regionals. I said Rose was on the other side of the ground. She's on the wing position commentary side. But there's 7 divisions. 7 divisions, looking at 5 divisions, 7 women's teams in total. Look to be heading to Westminster, Colorado in 3 weeks' time. As we mentioned, we will be there. We will have games on tape delay for you. Hope you keep an eye out for those. I'll be out there with Rory Roop. We'll be doing some of the commentary as well. Cleared out now finally by Chicago. And the mark is taken. Good job over the top. They need a goal here. And it's Mark Edwards, the vice captain. Lines up. They need a goal. That's the only way that they can get. Only way they can still have a hope. The kick is on the way. It tails right, however, and in fact has missed the lot. It's out of bounds on the full. Looked like one of my Aunt Becky's cookies. Looked great coming out of the oven, but crumbled into nothing at the end. And it'll be a free kick now. 4.5 minutes to go. Out to the near side. Marked defensively by Danilo. Swan's doing a good job of locking in these kick-ins, though. Oh, there's a hand. There's the cartwheel. There's the cartwheel. It worked. I've seen that. I've seen it before. We've seen the handstand. We've seen the cartwheel. That's some Paxi nonsense. Here is Rose Lemon, who gets through and looking to cut through back the other way. Handballs it around. They get it out now. And its mark is taken. They're going to go on quickly. So all that defensive pressure, and now they're going to hit as Moon will line up as they try to hit in transition. And the ball has gone out of bounds, and it has gone, in fact, wrong. It's gone through for a behind. So the first blemish on the scoreboard for the North Texas Devils. They go to 4-1-25. No score for Chicago. They've played almost 17 minutes. Again, a reminder, if North Texas wins, they win outright. Looking very good for them at the moment. Ball gets knocked down. Ball gets knocked forward. That's not our field. We'll play on. Able to soccer that one on. Going to go and pick that one up. A little bit of a Darwin argue. There's a tackle. No call as he just got it away. And here is Christopher James who sends this one inside, and it's marked. And they are hitting very well on transition. Here's Orr who has one. Gets by one tackle. Runs the 25 and may have kicked the Tasmanian goal of the day. Beautiful transportation of the air conveyance by the North Texas Devils. That's their fifth. They got a 5-1-31. Chicago no score. And for the D3 runners-up from a season ago, they are getting run over as well as they have kept in. They haven't been able to put anything up on the cash register. They've been able to hem things in inside the 50-meter arc. They are playing very well, and the ball comes back in the middle. Clock running. We're down to 90 seconds to go. A little bit of delay in getting the ball up, and the clock has not stopped. North Texas will be okay with that as McKern, who's played well in the ruck. Going back now. Going to pick that one up. Runs inside 50, has a bounce. Nope, didn't come off though. And he's held up as Kirkland was run down by P.A. O'Shaughnessy. Great tackle there. We're under a minute to go. Sending it back up on the far side now. And settling under it was Moon. Moon goes the other way, but it's picked off. We're playing aerial ping pong. Umpire says play on. Over the top, mark taken by McKern. He's got to hurry. Almost 30 seconds to go. Out the back goes Danilo, and Danilo will go back. Now we're at the 30-second mark unofficially. So Danilo standing, probably about 50 meters out. Maybe we'll call it 60. He'll kick from 50, sets sail. It's a good kick, but it's sailing to the right. And the Swans are finally on the board in the shadow of halftime. And in fact, that will do it. Halftime in this final game of Division I and of the 2025 USAFL Central Regionals presented by Tasmanian. Yes, the North Texas Devils 5-1-31 over the Chicago Swans, one behind. A 30-point lead, those 5 goals separating. And Chicago, as we said, not playing badly. They are doing a very good job of, they had a good period of about 10 minutes or so where they were hemming everybody in the defensive side for North Texas, but they weren't able to get anything out of it and weren't able to score until the very last kick of this first half. So 31-1, North Texas 20 minutes away from being the other club to lift their first regional title. It'll be their first ever trophy. Will they do it, or is there a miracle in the offing? The answer to those questions will be on the other side of this break. As we continue from Olathe, Kansas, thanks to Tasmania, here on AussieRulesUSA.com.
This presentation of the USAFL is brought to you by Tasmanian. Quietly pursue the extraordinary. Coopers, Australian made and owned. Coopers Beer. Odin Mortgage and Tax. CyberSolve IQ, the cybersecurity partner of the USAFL. HBC Event Services. Premier Sports Medicine. And Visit Tucson Sports. This presentation of the USAFL is brought to you.
We're down to the final 20 minutes of the 2025 USAFL Central Regional Championships presented by Tasmanian. It's been a beautiful but hot day here in Olathe, Kansas, and I think we're all just about ready to go have a dip in the pool and maybe a nice cold Coopers or two in town, but we got to get through these first 20 minutes first, and that's how far away the North Texas Devils are from winning their first ever regional championship. I'm Brian Barish. Great to have you back as we've been joining all day. And with the Devils leading 31-1, they are in the driver's seat. And Minnesota is playing St. Louis over on the other field, and all Minnesota has to do to wrap up at least second, provided, of course, Chicago doesn't bomb the lights out here, is all they have to do is to beat St. Louis. So, umpire Ross McLaren just doing one final check. He starts his watch. He raises the ball aloft. And we are underway here for the final half and the final 20 minutes of this tournament. Handballs it out to the near side now. Going to get picked up. Running through like a house on fire was Kalkmeyer, who gets the ball forward. It's a worm-burning, finger-breaking, mongrel up-country punt. Going to get taken down, and the umpire says that Bevan Charlton White had no prior opportunity to get rid of the ball. So it'll be a chance on the half-forward flank. Ball goes up, and he's going to be holding off the contest. You can't block a player out of the play, and that will be Callum McKern, the big ruck for the Chicago Swans. Well, everybody's laughing. I think they were questioning the call, but in a very humorous fashion. I guess when you're up by 30 points, you can have a laugh about that. And McKern gave it right. He gave it right back. What? I don't know. It's all loopy. Moon keeps the ball in play, but not to the right team. A big swing and a miss, and getting taken down was Ashley Callan, who maybe made contact with his knee there. Running on is Orr from the pocket, goes in the middle and kicks a magnificent goal. David Orr, and that might be a Tasmanian goal of the day. He's now kicked 3, and that's the Devils' 6th. North Texas running away en route to a regional championship. 6-1-37. Chicago 1 point, 2 gone. 2 minutes played here in this final term. It'll be interesting to see where some of these players end up in terms of the best and fairest, as well as in terms of the MVP. And we mentioned Minnesota. If this game ends up the way it does, then you're going to probably see the winner of the whoever was the best player in the North Texas Minnesota game end up as the MVP. But still plenty of time in both games. And getting wrapped up was Rose Lemon, and she got wrapped up for Christmas. But no prior opportunity, so good job by Lemon to get the ball. Handballed around now, Sobel. Big tackle and maybe some head contact there, but getting up slowly. And being very, very, very gingerly. It'll be a free kick to Moon. Dex Moon goes in short. Marks. Good job to find Will Lyon. Will open the scoring. Lyon runs on. There's a shot for a goal. Almost cleared everybody, but on the last line of defense was Mike Girton. Another point for North Texas. Devils go to 6-2-38. Watch AFL scoreboard. Chicago 1 behind. Almost 4 minutes gone. Comes out to the near side. It's marked over the top. This is Chris Willis. They call him Willow. Goes in short. Looking for the handball. Bounce off of 2 defenders. Playing like a pinball there, like a green pinball. And whistle and throw. And it's a sling tackle. It'll be a free kick to the Devils right in front. So North Texas will be Orr, who you'd almost have to say might be best and fairest in this game. He has 3. He's got 4. Big emphatic goal symbol. 7-2-44 North Texas. Watch AFL scoreboard. 1 behind Chicago. 5 minutes gone. 15 to play. And the Devils are now 15 minutes away from their first ever championship at any USAFL tournament. They play in a very tough region. They've got the Austin Crows next door. They play their reserve team a lot and play very well up against them. They have a rivalry with the Houston Lone Stars. And then they also play they play Oklahoma a fair bit. Play Kansas City. Ball gets sent in high. Bounces away, gonna get picked up, slung up over the top, sending this one down the line, and it's gonna bounce, it'll skip, going to go, has a bounce, able to get away, still not able to play. The ball took one bad little hop as Lemon is able to get there, and that really kind of ended the threat. Chicago trying to get it out, and it's marked. Sending this one across the face. Kept in, turns around. Lemon couldn't handle it. Girton is there. And it's intercepted by Sobel. Marcus Sobel. He'll go back. We said the Devils, founded by James Henderson, an Australian, about 5 years ago. They made their tournament debut at Nationals in 2021. The last couple of years, they've been a threat to win Division III. They're going to win this division here, spinning around and kicking another one. That's James Keogh. That's their 8th. 8-2-50 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. 1 point for Chicago, and now it is party time. And a loud roar as the Devils extend their lead again. Not much you can say, really. The Swans, they had that little stretch where they were hemming. They were playing well. They were applying a lot of pressure. I will say, I've been very impressed with the two women on the Swans team, Rose Lemon and Jessica Caution. Knocked it forward. Going all the way back is Charlton White, who's been quiet in this particular game. Comes out to the near side, kicks this one off the ground. Gonna go pick that one up. Handballs it back. Goes out to the far side. Sending this one up. Big boom. Oh, dropped it. Probably should have taken it, but it's a greasy ball at this point. Mason does a figure 8, sends this one up high, comes over, touches the ball to the ground, touches it a second time, sending this one in, and it is taken. Not marked though, shrugged away one tackle, long handball across. This is Jacoby Smith. He's been around a while. Sending this one in, it's a little short, marked. Playing this one on quickly, running the 35, and there is another sausage roll for the North Texas Devils as Will Lyon kicks his second. And in a town known for barbecue, they'll be dining on sausage rolls all day long. 9-2-56 for North Texas, one behind for Chicago, and it's starting to look a little bit like the Philadelphia-New York game where the Magpies ran out 10-goal winners in that final game to salt away the title in a very similar situation. Although the Hawks only, coming into that game, only would have needed to win by 16 points. At least it was the start, but when the Magpies scored the first goal 15 seconds in, they scored the second one a minute later, and then 2 minutes after that they had 3. It didn't look very much, but we approached the halfway mark of the second half. Charlton White goes all the way back, sends this one down the line. Marked over the back. Clifton. Clifton will be about 60 meters out. Goes in short and takes the mark. This is Jess Caution. That's a great look. Caution comes forward. Kick is on the way. It's going to be short. Marks turns around and kicks a goal. Evan Danilo will get credit for it. But a great setup by Clifton, who found a wide open Caution and Jess sent the ball in where she found Evan Danilo. And finally, Chicago gets a major score. 1-1-7 for the Swans. 9-2-56 North Texas. Watch AFL scoreboard with 8 3/4 minutes to go. Ball goes back in the middle once again. Ball comes out now and comes out to the near side. Handballs it in. Left-footed kick. High in the air, marked by Jacoby Smith, who gets it out. Ball gets handled up. It's taken by Austin Thomas. Almost taking the mark. Picking that one up is Martin, who is taken down, and he's gone. Great pressure by the Devils, and Maxon Keogh sending this one in. He'll play on quickly. Wheels around, kicks on the way. Marked by Charlton White, who's been like goose excrement. He's been absolutely everywhere. Mark taken on the far side. Almost stolen by Kirkland. I love his t-shirts. Off the mill side. Goes to Maxon Keogh. Keogh turns in quickly. And it's marked once again by Charlton White. Well, Charlton White should be in the conversation for best and fairest. He had a very good opening game. Mark taken. Look to play on quickly. Punched away, and ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Umpire chucks the ball back into play. Knocked down by McKern, who's done well in the ruck. Sends this down the line. Rubber of a kick that deflected off of one of the Swans. In fact, it went off of Gibbons. Sending this one down. One-on-one contest. Over to get it is Stephen Bass. Plays it on, running on. Oh. And Josh Canterbury had a chance, and, well, that was not great. And he'll want that one back. It's only a behind for the Devils. 9-3-57. The lead is exactly 50 points. Brian Barisher with you, and while we're here, want to thank, this is where we start thanking people. Of course, Jerry Long, our production manager. Max, who's up on the camera, who's brought to you amazing shots. Jerry's done a fantastic job managing the board, as he always does, and giving us all these different angles. Thanks, of course, to the umpires who have come out. We mentioned Doran James, who is not here. He's at home resting, and hope to see him soon. You know, he's watching back home in Tennessee as the mark is taken over the top. This is Pete O'Shaughnessy. We'll go in short. We mentioned as goes off of caution. Big tackle, able to get it away. Caution saw it go off of her hands. Goes to pick this one up. Almost had a little rough to throw ball. That could have been a throw. It wasn't. Big tackle by O'Shaughnessy, and it popped out. And he landed on his arm awkwardly, and he is holding it. Or his elbow, perhaps. He will get up slowly. But he is okay. Doesn't look like the shoulder's too damaged, but he landed on it awkwardly. Umpire will spin it back into play. We mentioned Darren Green, member at large, who stepped in and really helped us manage this tournament today. Ben Markham, the Central Regional Vice President as well. It's been a fantastic day here in Olathe, and these men and women are going to go out and celebrate tonight in the Power and Light District in Kansas City. And everybody got excited, but it wasn't our field. And in the middle of that was a mark to Danilo. So Danilo, who's kicked the only goal for the Swans, decides to go in short. Caution, can't get to it, and Jacoby Smith runs on it. Here's Mason, out to the near side, and it went just out on the full ahead of Josh Canterbury, who was there. Ollie C. Stewart plays in the middle once again for Charlton White. He's told to play on, goes down the line. Mark taken. A reminder, if you're in the Denver area, we'll be there in Westminster City Park for the Western Regionals. Be starting at 9 a.m. local time. We will have tape delay coverage of that soon after the tournament. And really dropped the pill. Goes to try and pick this one up, sends it across now. Sending it back from whence it came. Drops in the middle. Bounces away. Gonna go get picked up once again. Sending this one forward quickly. As Christopher James had the football and the ball goes out of bounds, we'll have a boundary throw it. Coming up on a minute and a half to go, the North Texas Devils are going to win their first ever regional championship. And they're going to do so after a fantastic day where they really have been dominant. St. Louis, I think, has gave them the toughest test. They were the 4 seed. Well, big tackle thrown in there. This one is sent in, going all the way back. That's going to go home. And that's a cherry on top of the delicious sundae that has this game. 10th goal for the Devils. They go to 10-3-63 with a minute to go. Chicago 1-1-7. Watch AFL scoreboard. And the Devils are getting ready. They can sense it. And as we said, the team that really is built off the back of the work that was done by number of people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Of course, the old Dallas Magpies, later Dingoes. And umpire Steve Arnott, what will probably be the last center toss of the game of the day. Ball goes to ground. Get ready, North Texas. There's a cup coming your way. The North Texas Devils are the 2025 U.S. AFL Central Regional Champions in Division I, and they have done so in convincing fashion. It is a 56-point win over the Chicago Swans here in the final game. The score, it's the North Texas Devils 10-3-63, the Chicago Swans 1-1-7. Congratulations to the Devils. They have played superbly over the course of this day. They have beat the other competition and they have beat the Heat. And in their games, they have outscored their competition 151-36. And unless St. Louis clobbers Minnesota, the Freeze look to finish in second. That game is over. We don't have a score, but mathematics would suggest to us that Minnesota will finish in second. So that's going to do it for us. Once again, our thanks to our crew, to Jerry Long, to Max, to Michael, who has taken the still shots, who should be available in the coming days. We mentioned Darren Green for his help, for Doran James back home for putting all this together, and to everybody here at Visit Olathe who have hosted us once again on this magnificent day of Australian rules football here in the Midwest. We'll talk to you in 3 weeks' time. As we mentioned, we'll have tape delay coverage of the Western Regionals. If you're in the Denver area, come out and join us. It'll be a 9 a.m. start at Westminster City Park in Westminster, Colorado. 3 fields, 5 divisions, 3 men's and 2 women's. Join us there. Until then, for everyone who has brought to you today's matches from Olathe, this is Brian Barish wishing you a pleasant good evening.
This presentation of the USAFL is brought to you by Tasmanian. Quietly pursue the extraordinary. Coopers, Australian made and owned. Coopers Beer. Odin Mortgage and Tax. CyberSolve IQ, the cybersecurity partner of the USAFL. HBC Event Services. Premier Sports Medicine. And Visit Tucson Sports.